The iliotibial band, or ITB, is a long band of thick fascia that runs along the outer thigh. It does require tension as it helps to keep our knee in place when we move, but too much tension is often created when the muscle that it attaches to, TFL, tensor fascia lata, is holding an excess of tension, pulls on the IT band, and can lead to knee pain. In this video, I'll show you a couple of great ways to help release tension in TFL and a really nice effective way to help prevent TFL accumulating too much tension in the first place. I'm Helen Claire, this is Run Better with Yoga, helping you to run stronger, longer, injury-free with yoga. If you're new here, then be sure to subscribe and check out our links to our free guides just below. Let's get started. You'll need a strap, a belt, or maybe even a long towel. Come and lie down on your left side. Stack your knees, stack your ankles, have your feet in line with your back, and then lengthen your spine. Lift your lower waist slightly away from the floor so your back feels nice and long. Rest your top hand there just on your outer hip, and we're lifting the whole top leg up and down. Keep your knee and your ankle in line, parallel to the floor. And you should feel that movement coming from this area. So this is gluteus medius, our primary hip stabilizing muscle. Now, if we can work on strengthening this muscle here, we're taking some of the workload off of tensor fascia lata in there. So just see how that feels, how easy or hard it might be. And you might like to do around 10 or 15. Be sure not to be taking your foot or ankle too high. Keep that ankle in line with your knee. Okay, then roll onto your back, take your strap. So we're going to loop the strap around the ball of the right foot. Lengthen the left leg out. See if you can align your ankle over your hip. So it doesn't matter if the knee is bending. Take your strap into your left hand, and then with your right thumb, just hook it in the top hip crease there to keep your right hip down. Push your foot into your strap and start to take your leg a few inches across your body. So hip stays down on the floor. Push away through the foot, so you're lengthening the leg. Knee might be bending, that's okay. But if you can keep your pelvis there on the floor, you might find just a fairly subtle stretch along the top outer hip and a nice lengthening sensation along the outside of that thigh. And you might take around 10 breaths here. If you want to take it a few inches further, you can, but still keep the hip grounding down. Okay. And then we'll release that side. So switch sides, roll onto your right side. Again, stack the knees, ankles, soles of your feet in line with your spine, lengthen, lift your lower waist, and then start to lift. And we'll take another 10 to 15 of these side lying leg abductions. So we're just lifting the whole leg, so a bit different to the clam. And this, and we should be feeling it there, so the outer hip See how this side compares? So this area, this muscle can have a tendency to get weak, which probably will lead to TFL muscle overworking, which can put an excess strain on our IT band. Okay, and then roll onto your back, grab your strap. Looping it around this foot now, lengthen out the right leg. So just straighten out that leg just as much as you can, as much as feels good without trying too hard. But if you can align the ankle roughly over your hip, then great. Strap goes into the right hand and just try and help that left hip to stay down on the floor. So push into the strap, guide your leg across the body. And really focus on what you can feel there. It might be quite subtle. For some of you, you're going to feel more. Okay, but it might just provide you that real nice lengthening through the outside of the hip. And quite a nice stretch potentially in your outer hip, top of the thigh. So 10 to 15 breaths. It's always useful to count the breaths so that we can measure how long we're spending on each side in each thing. And then come up and we'll release. So that's quite a nice way to stretch into TFL, lengthen the side of the leg. And then we're just going to lie back, take a long stretch out, and take a hold of your left wrist, draw it up, and then draw it over to the right. Walk your feet over to the right. So we're coming into this reclined half moon. Either stay there as you are. You could cross your left ankle over the right. Keep everything dropping down, so hips, both of them stay on the floor, shoulders are on the floor or dropping back. And then just kind of relax here. So you're not trying to stretch too much here. You're just there in this side bend posture. And focus on breathing along that side that's lengthening. So breathing along the whole length of the left side here. And this is the posture that you might spend 15 breaths in. You might spend longer, 3 minutes in. So just now we'll come back to the center, pause, and then draw the right wrist up and over to the left, and take the legs over as well. Doesn't need to be a super deep side bend, just a few inches across, maybe crossing the ankles. And feel the weight of the pelvis dropping down to the ground. And if you can, allowing yourselves a few minutes just to stay in this posture quite passively. All right, and back to the center. And you might like to just lie there for a few minutes, reset, notice any differences you can feel. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. There you have 3 simple things that you can start to implement straight away, helping to relieve some of that excess tension in the IT band and the tensor fascia lata, helping to strengthen gluteus medius there as well. Stay tuned for another video on this topic. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and please check out the links to the free guides we have just below. I look forward to seeing you next time.